video is about society. Now, my other video about culture, that was more abstract, but society is a more concrete structure. So, first off, what is society? Well, society is a group of individuals who share a common territory, interact with each other, and have a common culture. Society has a social structure, which is the organized relationships among the components of the social system. The structure is made up of intertwining social statuses and social roles. So, with society being made up of statuses and roles, then what are statuses and roles? Well, a social status is the position within the social network. That is to say, it is one's place in the overall structure. For example, you could be a student or professor. A social role is the behavior and attitudes that pertain to a particular social status. So then we occupy a status, but play a role. So each status calls forth different social roles and behaviors. There are different statuses such as ascribed and achieved. Ascribed status is a status that we are born with, such as place of birth, name, sex, and religion. Achieved status is what has been gained through one's own efforts, such as income, marital status, and career. So, in essence, ascribed status is who you are, and achieved status is what you do. When these are unbalanced, status inconsistency may occur. Status inconsistency is when a person ranks higher on one criteria of status than another. Some examples of status inconsistency can be seen if you were like an African American doctor during the 1950s. You would experience status inconsistency. For you, your achieved status is high, but your ascribed status is quite low. Another example is if your father is a CEO of some oil company and your mother is someone like a federal judge, and you yourself cannot even gain admission into college, you are experiencing status inconsistency. For you, your ascribed status is high, but your achieved is low. Now, there are different views on status depending on where you are in the world. And different societies place different emphasis on status. So, in American society, achieved status is praised more so than ascribed. The dysfunction of this could be that if one fails, one blames themselves for not having a high achieved status. In other societies such as India, where there is a sort of caste system, ascribed status is very important, but a dysfunction of this is that it is extremely restrictive. Why then are all these statuses and roles so important? Well, in essence, the particular combination of statuses that we occupy make us who we are. However, we decide which statuses and roles determine who we really are. With so many roles and statuses, overlap may occur. When this is the case, one may experience a role conflict. Role conflict occurs when one is playing two roles at the same time that are governed by incompatible norms. So, for example, if you are a police officer and you pull over your wife for speeding, your role of husband and lawman are in extreme conflict. Not only do roles and statuses conflict, but if one has too many roles, they can experience stress, and this would be role strain. Role strain is when one cannot handle their many role obligations. Some reasons for this may be that others expect too much of you, or even you yourself expect too much of yourself. A key variable is your level of tolerance to stress. Some people are able to work just in a very stressful environment and not reflect that stress within themselves. Others are very susceptible to stress. Some remedies for this can be you can alter the expectations of others by reasoning with them, or alter the expectations of yourself, or just simply drop out of the social role or roles. Another reason to drop out of a role is that you experience some sort of role failure. Failure, as its name suggests, is when one cannot perform the social role that he or she has taken on. So, for example, if I set out to play the role of a professor, but I could not teach effectively, I would be fired. We can easily drop out of roles and acquire new ones. When we acquire new roles, it is likely that we will experience some sort of role ambiguity. Role ambiguity occurs when one is unsure how to play a certain social role. A simple cure for this is simply to keep your mouth shut and observe your environment. This will allow you to learn the norms and thus cure your role ambiguity. So it seems society makes us, as the sociologist Peter Berger put it, as prisoners, for we are forced to comply with roles and statuses and norms, or puppets if we actually want to comply to these. But Peter Berger put forth a third model, which is role distance. Role distance is when one plays a role in an emotionally detached manner. This coincides with Peter Berger's third model of society, which is drama. This option makes us live actors playing roles for our own agendas. If we want to acquire roles to carry out our own agendas, we may look to a role model for guidance. Now, there's a lot of preconceived and incorrectly preconceived notions about what a role model is. So a role model is a person who is in a status and is playing a role to which we aspire. Values and beliefs and morals of that individual do not determine how good they are as a role model. So, for example, if I'm aspiring to become a dictator, Stalin would be a good choice for a role model, for he was in a status of a dictator and played that role well. This is regardless of his morality and beliefs and values. So that is all for this video. If you enjoyed it, rate, comment, subscribe, and bye.